I don't know about you guys, but I am ready for the draft lottery on May 5th. I just want this season to be over, and it almost is. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to This Week in CanucksLand, where we go over all the games from this past week, go over the goals, we go over news of the week, we go over the 3 stars, we preview next week, which is the final week of the season, and yeah, then we just end it off there. But yeah, that's it. I'm CanucksLand. How's it going? Welcome, and let's hop right into it because this is the second last week of the season for your Vancouver Canucks, and the pain is almost over. The sweet relief of this season ending and us getting to watch playoffs where we don't have to put our emotional hearts on the line. We get to casually watch some awesome hockey, especially that first round series, Minnesota versus Dallas, which I hope Dallas wins, but that's going to be a great series, and I'm going to enjoy that series. Same with the Atlantic. I feel like whoever gets second, third in that division, if Buffalo wins, Montreal, Tampa, ooh, that's going to be a great series. But we're here to talk about the Vancouver Canucks. Sadly, the last place team in the NHL, as they still have 3 games into this week, and then next week we got 3 more games before the season ends. We're almost there, so let's hop in. And I know I just kind of repeated myself, but let's go in. As we would start off the game against the Vegas Golden Knights, where the Canucks would actually open the scoring. They would start off with a goal from Max Sasson as he would get the puck from Teddy Bluger, and he would fire it in to give the Canucks a 1-0 lead. A nice lead against the Vegas Golden Knights, trying to ruin their chances of potentially getting first in the division, because that race, although a pillow fight, is still really close, but the Vegas Golden Knights would strike back as the puck would find Brayden McNabb, and he would fire it in from like about the top of the circle. And yeah, Tolopilo just kind of got screened. No real chance he can do, like, no real chance to have no real chance on that goal. Just a bunch of screening, couldn't really see the shot, just beat him. So it's a tie game, which is nice, because, I think the Vancouver Canucks were not shooting that great this game. I think it was we had like 9 shots in total throughout the whole game or something like that. Let me double check. I just want to make sure I got the right number. I know it was 11. It was 11 shots throughout the whole game. That is not a great showing for your Vancouver Canucks, but the fact that it's 1-1, what the hell? Like, Vegas should be dominating us with how little we are shooting. We were able to beat them. I think it was on the first shot of the game. I could be wrong. Might have been like the second or third shot of the game. But yeah, but the Vegas Golden Knights would pick up one more. As Cole Smith would try to get the puck, it would go out. Nick Dowd would pick it up, find Cole Smith, and he would put it in. And the Golden Knights would take a 2-1 lead, and luckily for your Vancouver Canucks, that's all they would get, and the Golden Knights would win 2-1. And the Canucks, although, only 11 shots, kept the score close. Tolopilo had a great game. It was really nice to see. It was a home game, I'm pretty sure. Yes, because this was the one where Tolopilo got his chance, which he so deserved. Like, he had a great game. He kept us in it. He was the only reason the Vancouver Canucks only lost 2-1. Tolopilo had an amazing game, and that's the kind of thing you see from him. I feel like he's the goaltender that really knows how to use his size, and he's just not like quite there in terms of skill. He's probably like a max AHL starter, could probably become a decent backup, but the fact that he knows how to use his size really well benefits him. It's just some of the athleticism, it doesn't really help him as much, and also being a younger, more vulnerable goaltender doesn't help as well. But we would move into a game against the LA Kings. Now, speaking of trying to ruin teams' playoff odds, these are playoff chances. This is a team you could definitely do that to, as the Vegas Golden Knights are currently fighting for the last wild card spot. And as of recording right now, I'm pretty sure they're up like 1 point against the Nashville Predators, 87-86. So they have a good chance of making the playoffs. They have the lead right now, and they play the Canucks one more time. That would be our second last game of the season. But we would move into this one where the LA Kings would pretty much dominate this game on the scoreboard. The Vancouver Canucks, just didn't really have a chance. This is a team fighting for their playoff spot. They're going to come in with a lot of heart and a lot of passion. They want to get in because it's Kopitar's final season. And honestly, I don't like the LA Kings. I really don't like when the Canucks play against them. I really want to see Kopitar in the playoffs one more time. I haven't really ever had a reason to dislike Kopitar throughout my watching. I know maybe some people might not like Kopitar, but for me personally, I have never had a reason to dislike him, and it's his final year. He's a long-term veteran. He's played with the Kings for his whole career. I want to see him have one more chance. I don't think they're going to win the cup, but it would just be nice, to play for something, to fight for something in your final season. If it was Ovi's final year, which it could possibly be, we'll see what happens in the offseason. He hasn't made a decision. I would want the same for Ovechkin as well. There's some guys, though, like Corey Perry. I wouldn't want that, but he's kind of a journeyman going through the league now, just kind of finding his way as he's now on Tampa Bay, so he's going to get it. And he's gotten so many chances already. I want a guy like Kopitar, I want a guy like Ovi to get that chance. But let's move into the game where the Kings would start off with a goal as Brandt Clarke would get the puck behind the net. He would find Kempe in front, and Kempe would put it in to make it a 1-0 lead for the Kings. But the Canucks would get one back as the puck would find Marcus Pettersson at the point, and his shot would go off of a King and in. The Canucks would tie the game at 1, and they are really, really good at starting the game off 1-1. I feel like this season, I don't know how many games have started off 1-1, but if we did a check, it might be majority. It might be like a good amount. Not majority, maybe the highest percentage. Feels like the Vancouver Canucks always make it 1-1 at one point, and then it all falls off a cliff, just like how it does in this game. As the puck would be on Scott Laughton's stick, he would drop it to Army, and he would fire it in to make it 2-1 for LA. They would add another one as Kopitar would find Panarin. Panarin would send it all the way to Edmondson. Edmondson's shot would be redirected. A nice tip in front by Kempe and in for his second of the game to make it 3-1 for LA. And yeah, it was just kind of that kind of game where we all fell apart. After it, we've seen it multiple times. This is just like, a close game against Vegas where we shouldn't have been in it. A game against the Kings where it just kind of falls apart after 1-1. And then the next game against the Sharks, we've seen them a couple times this season as well, where it's just like, what is this? But the Kings would pick up one more as Laferriere's shot would be tipped by Moore and in, and the Kings would win 4-1 in a game where they would pick up 2 crucial points to help them in their playoff race. And honestly, as I want to see Kopitar in the playoffs. You're welcome. You're welcome, LA Kings fans. But yeah, just one of those games. That's all I'm gonna say. That's how it is this season. It's just one of those games. As we would move into the final game of the week against the San Jose Sharks, where the Canucks wouldn't open up the scoring as we did only once. I kind of noticed that the Canucks did open up the scoring a consistent amount for some reason. Last week, I think the week before, they did it a couple times as well. This week, it was 1 out of 2, or 1 out of 3. So, yeah, the Canucks wouldn't open up the scoring, as it would be Chernyshov off the face-off. He would go to the backhand and put it in. He's kind of been a bit of a Canuck killer this season for the San Jose Sharks. I think he was down in Abbotsford for a little bit this season, too, and I was able to watch him, which was nice to see. But, yeah, Chernyshov has been a little bit of a Canuck killer this season, which is good for him because he's a rookie. He needs to show out, and we're helping him show out. But the Canucks would get one back, though, as the puck would go behind the net. Askarov would not play it well, and it would leave a wide open net for Marco Rossi, who would put it in to tie the game. I don't think they come much easier for that one. For Marco Rossi, you take your chances, you put it in the net. If it's wide open, you got to put it in. Nathan McKinnon. And then, yeah, the Sharks would strike back, though, as the other Canuck killer would get the puck from Sam Dickinson. Tyler Toffoli would fire it in to make it 2-1. He's been a Canuck killer ever since he left the Canucks, and he was really good when he would play for the Canucks. Had a really good start when he played, then got hurt, came back in the playoffs in the 2020 bubble. And he had a couple of really good games. I like Toffoli. I wish we kept him, but we didn't. And now he's the bane of our existence when we play against him. But the Canucks would tie the game on the power plays. Pettersson would find Hronek. His shot would go off a pad, but DeBrusk would pick up the rebound and put it in to make it 2-2. And the Canucks would tie the game yet again, which was nice to see. A little bit of a back-and-forth game. And it would continue to be back and forth, as it would be Chernyshov again. He would get the puck in the slot, turn, and fire it in to make it 3-2. And yeah, that it's just Chernyshov had his night. It was awesome to see. It's nice to see those young kids on San Jose have their night. I have had reasons to dislike San Jose in the past because they were kind of one of those teams that, just were really good, but also like they weren't as good. Like in terms of like trying to win the cup, like they didn't end up winning the cup, which they had some great players who deserve cups. Obviously we beat them in the conference finals in 2011, so that series kind of started my dislike for the San Jose Sharks. But this young team, it's hard to not root for them, and just they're really fun to watch, but I'm not going to be cheering for them. But yeah, the Canucks would tie the game, though, as off the draw, Carlson would try to get it to the front of the net, get poked. Bluger, he would get the puck and fire it in, and the Canucks would tie the game at 3-3, back and forward. Sharks, Canucks, Sharks, Canucks, Sharks, Canucks, and we would go all the way to a shootout, where we would continue to be Sharks, Canucks, as the first shooter to score would be Macklin Celebrini, as he would put it past Kevin Lankinen, and that would be the first shooter to beat Kevin Lankinen in the shootout all season. And if it had to be anyone, any of those four top players would be nice. Celebrini, Kucherov, McKinnon, McDavid. I don't mind that it was Celebrini at all, but it didn't win them the game, as the next shooter, Jake DeBrusk, would float it over the glove. Askarov would go for the poke check, and DeBrusk would just get it over him, and he would tie the shootout. And that was in the second round. We would go all the way to the sixth round, where in the sixth round, Eklund would have a chance to take the lead. His shot would be stopped by Kevin Lankinen, leaving Linus Karlsson with the chance to win it, as he would skate in and put it posted in. And the Canucks, what a shot too, just amazing. And the Canucks would win 4-3 in the shootout, taking a point away from the San Jose Sharks, basically securing their chances, securing them probably missing the playoffs. They have to win out and the Kings have to lose out. If the Kings win one game and they play the Canucks, though I feel like the Jets and the Sharks, it's done for them. Although not mathematically, it's pretty much done for them, as the Canucks will pick up a win, a fun win. It was nice to see. We always like to see these fun wins every once in a while. At this point, we could win out the whole season, like we won't, but if we won out in fun fashion, no one would complain, because we've clinched last place. We clinched it way too long ago, actually. But yeah, the Vancouver Canucks would go 1-2 this week in a fun week, but it was really just the Sharks game that was fun. So yeah, in a good week, whatever. It's just one of those weeks. That's the best way of saying it. As we would move into the news of the week, and I think there's a bit of a news when it comes to the practice rink, but until there's official development and there's boots on the ground and they're making it, I will not report anything about it, because it's so... all this legislation stuff where they're trying to get it all built out, all the money stuff, it's really confusing. It's really hard to keep track of. So I'll do a whole thing about the practice rink when it eventually is all settled. Kuro Kudryavtsev got called up, and a little bit of news that I want to talk about. It's not Canucks related. It is Calgary Flames related, but someone from my hometown. If you guys know me from Nothing is Perfect, you'll see up there, Mission BC, Abram Weeb made his NHL debut with the Calgary Flames. He played for the University of North Dakota the last 3 seasons. They just lost to Wisconsin in the Frozen Four, their chances to go to the national championship, and he made his NHL debut against the Seattle Kraken with the Calgary Flames, which was really awesome. And that's the second player from around these parts to make the NHL as of recent. Gage Gonzalez was the other for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Really nice to see. I'm really happy for Abram. I actually shared ice. I did power skating with him, but that's really about it when it comes to sharing ice with him, because he was so far advanced, and I am not that great at hockey. But congratulations, Abram. It's really nice to see. That's wanted to bring that up. But yeah, let's move into the 3 stars of the week. At your third star, I'll just give a little, actually, before we get into it, this week is rough. At your third star, it is Brock Besser. 3 games played, 0 goals, 1 assist, 1 point, -2. If you're third star, you got 1 point. It was a bad week. He was third in scoring, and it was 1 point. Honestly, I probably should have put someone with a goal ahead of there, so I will give an honorable mention to Max Sasson and Marco Rossi. Second star of the week, though, is Linus Karlsson. 3 games played, 0 goals, 2 assists, 2 points, and was it even. Besser -2. I forgot to say that. But yeah, he had 2 points. So there, that's why he's there. First star of the week, Teddy Bluger. 3 games played, 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. Was a -1. Same thing as Linus Karlsson. He's just kind of there because he has the 2 points and one of them is a goal. So those are your 3 stars of the week. Yes, very painful. And yeah, let's hop into the last week preview as it is one more week before the end of this season. So yeah, without further ado, this is it. The game that has already been played at the time of upload. It's tonight as the time of recording. The game against the Anaheim Ducks at 5 p.m. on Sunday. So I didn't really have to say the time, but yeah. Let me know how that game went. I'm just kidding. I'll be talking about it next week. Tuesday, April 14th against the Los Angeles Kings at 7 p.m. That one is at home. The final home game for your Vancouver Canucks. And then they go out on a little bit of a one-game road trip as the Thursday, April 16th, they play the Edmonton Oilers in the final game of the season at 6 p.m. And that will be it for your Vancouver Canucks season. And honestly, we're just waiting for this week to go by, watch some fun playoff hockey, and hope those lottery balls fall the right way for your Vancouver Canucks and that they pick up first overall or at least second overall in this draft. But without further ado, that is it for this one. I set a goal to try to hit 500 subscribers by the end of this regular season. So if you're a Canucks fan and you enjoy this kind of content, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, comment down below. Let me know what you guys thought about this week in CanucksLand. The video on your right is the video for Friday. The video on your left is the video from Wednesday. Subscribe is right down under there. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.